Alright, this is me with Morse. We're going to go over some games of Samus Fox. We're going to focus on Fox platform game and what we can do against it. So, you want to just avoid, we don't need to talk about stuff other than that, right? Is what you're saying?
I think that's like the main thing I noticed, right? Is that so for top platform reads, I think we've kind of discussed it. And I think that if I'm commanding center, right, if I'm holding center and they go for a top platform, like they run to top platform, it's like easy enough to cover it. But for example, if I'm on the side of the stage, right, if they don't like blatantly go for anything, I can't. So if, for example, if we pause when I'm right here, or no, so pause in a situation where I'm under like the side plat and he goes to the top platform, and I'll kind of explain what I'm trying to describe, what I feel here. I think that's the biggest crux. And I think that if I knew more about it, or if I had like an actual like game plan for most characters, I think it would be a lot easier to cope with, or at least like be able to ad lib off of.
Sure.
Because I think that aside from that, I think that's my biggest struggle that I'd rather want to work on rather than anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, once he gets to that situation, he did it really early in the first couple stocks. He's not doing it anymore right now. I'm kind of catching on.
I like the tech chase there. That was pretty nice. That's my text alert tone. I'm sorry.
I don't hear anything. Don't worry about it. It's right there, right? So when he like just wave landed on the platform. So if you pause it when he waves land, yeah. So right here, right? So if let's say that I'm in the corner, right? So let's say I'm further left into the stage, or regardless of where I am, right? If I try to take center at this point, then we've already acknowledged in the Puff matchup that an opponent directly above Samus, or like at a spot that's like at a very like tight angle or a very like steep angle with respect to like the ground that Samus is on, it's like a bad scenario for Samus to be in. And at that point, the only place that's like a good position is in the corner. But because Fox's grounder movement is so good, being in the corner is still like SOL. And so if I like, for example, right now, if I decided to launch top platform, I can't drift. If I drift forward, then at some point I'm going to, if I keep drifting forward as I do fair, right, I'm going to expose myself eventually, and he can shield drop punish me if he does, right?
Okay.
If he blocks it, right?
Okay.
If I jump up there, the only real option I have is to like try to fair challenge it. And at higher percents, it'd be nice, right? Because if I hit it, it'd be safe. Because he'd get popped up, be knocked down. The only way he'd get out of it is by doing a move, or whittling out, or tacking, right? Making this fair safe, right? But at lower percents, I'd have to try to challenge it in a way that prevents me from getting, like, if he decides to like full hop there, or run off that platform, or shield it, right? I don't like the risk reward on that, and I don't really know what else there is for us aside from just charging and waiting.
Sure, I don't think that being in the corner here is necessarily awful. One of the things that will change on this stage with time is that you'll have side platforms eventually.
Yeah.
Something that I think is reasonable is short hopping to this location.
But that's just like, that's just a pre-preparation to just like...
And then you observe what Fox does when you're in this zone.
Yeah.
So it's like you're taking a position and watching what your opponent does, right?
Yeah.
Um, they might run off this side, right? And then you try to play neutral again. You can
Yeah.
also you can also be down here. You just have to be moving,
Yeah. But if
right?
like so
Because
again,
if Fox comes down and is not correct, then you win the situation, right?
well, I mean, the question is like it's either if he misses me, it's either a net zero
Right,
or a net positive,
right, right, right,
right?
right, right. Right.
And like we want to be in a spot where it's like a net positive, and so like if we're dash dancing, right?
Yeah.
We're like it's a bad dash dance, and so like it's hard to really it's gonna be like hard for us to actually like get something that isn't a net zero by purely dash dancing because our dash dance is so small.
Sure.
But for example,
I think you're probably going to reposition with wave dashes mostly.
yeah,
But
but
the idea here is that like you're saying that Fox doesn't have to come down, right?
well, I mean, yeah, Fox. So like we could try to challenge it, but like they're like the only way that we can really like win this sort of situation is by charging, like just charging at this point, like moving to a spot where charging charge shot is not going to get punished directly by like a
That's
shield
kind of
drop,
reasonable.
right?
You can charge in the corner if you want to. If you want to play against this, you can charge in the corner.
Like it doesn't seem, yeah, it just doesn't seem good right now. Like it feels again like fair is like viable, but
Yeah, there's
it's
also
not,
on
it's
this
not
stage
viable
there's
enough
also
to
up B.
spam. Hmm?
On this stage there's also up B.
Yeah, that is true. Like maybe well, yeah, I can get lucky and shield poke it, right? But it's still like
Well, like, are they holding shield all the time? Because they can't shield all the time up there.
yeah, but they still have like a short hop and a full hop, right?
Right. But then they have to land eventually.
Yeah,
So like you're
but I
like
mean,
you're still watching them. The thing is that like a lot of people when they interact with this, they're not looking clearly at the Fox as the Fox is going higher and higher. Because we're not really used to watching people than when they're not in this zone of the screen.
mm.
So what happens is that we often lose track of people up here. I think that it is possible to play that game by sort of, you know, if he jumps, what happens if you short hop?
Well, I mean, he either like has to move. Like the question is how do you move, right?
Right. I think that it's a two-part thing here, where you threaten the landing and you look at how the fox reacts, right? If the fox just lands, then like later on you know that if he jumps and you jump, then you can attack his landing.
Hmm.
If the fox sees that you might attack the landing and double jumps, well now you know that if you jump here they're going to double jump. And now you can like fast fall and then double jump and try to attack the landing again, right? Like you don't have to commit until you have
Yeah.
a better understanding of how Fox is going to deal with what you're doing. This happens with a lot
Okay, sure.
with top platform situations where people just lunge. Like they lunge at the first or the second opportunity and they end up getting destroyed.
Punished.
Yeah, and they end up saying like, "Oh, Samus can't do anything in this top platform." But it's like, wait. Why are you always going there on the first or second opportunity, right? Like, you can take some time, go to the side platform, set up like a homing missile, right? I think that this strategy is quite good against Peach, for example, because Peach lacks the mobility to get to the top platform, and once she does, you just go all the way down to the ground, right? And then she has to get all the way from the top platform down to the ground. The thing is, it's not the same for us. We're a lot faster vertically, and we're a lot faster horizontally, and we have a projectile that moves diagonally. So it's like between all of these
Diagonally.
things, we can usually set up like a better trap. We also have a better attack that goes diagonally, right? Because Fair has a massive hitbox. It's great for dealing damage. So like, I think that I don't think you're very good at cornering people.
Yeah, I
And,
know. That's why. That's what we're here for. That's
right,
what. Did I
right.
already reiterate?
And I think that that's what the gist of this is that you don't have to make a beeline for this guy. I think what we're trying to play around is how does Fox want... Where does Fox want me to be? Right? Fox wants Samus to be either up here or like in the middle of coming up there, and they can attack us in passing. Right?
Okay, sure.
There's a lot of like spots where like Fox is like, oh yeah, I'm a hit that easily for free, right? So it's like we want to stay out of those zones, and we want to make our position ambiguous, but we also do want to threaten the top platform, and we can hit it with full hop, right?
Yeah, but again, that brings up the idea of like again, that's almost like a lunge, really, right? Like full hop in practicality, right? It puts up, like, wouldn't it put us, so if we get toward the apex of our full hop, we're going to be at a spot where, like, we can get hit by anything.
Right. What I'm saying is that we want to space diagonally, full hop with a diagonal, and then
we need to be,
and then we fast fall with a retreating fair, and that's kind of safer.
Sure. Okay.
And then we get some chip damage in, right? And then the Fox realizes that we can threaten, like, from a certain spot, and then we're playing neutral again. It's another neutral interaction.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that really this isn't like a cornered situation. Fox isn't cornered here. It's just I have to push him off.
Right. We're playing neutral.
Fine.
We have to demonstrate that they aren't. It's like how when someone camps you, the easiest way to stop them from camping you is to demonstrate that they aren't making any progress.
Yeah, it's not making a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. And that's why the whole Z power shield thing against low lasers is like. It's mostly meant to dissuade the Falco from laser camping you with low lasers.
Because, it doesn't work.
Right, exactly. All you have to do is show your opponent, hey, you can keep doing this, and you'll just keep getting chipped. I can demonstrate that I'm chipping you. And then they're less likely to commit to this strategy. They're going to take more risks. They're going to play a different kind of game because they can't get low risk, low reward on you. Right? That's the goal, is when I'm camping someone, I want low risk, low reward. Mostly.
Well, I mean, this is like, you want low risk, low reward in us, but like really, it shuts out low risk, it shuts out low risk stuff for us, though. Really,
right. That's like the idea, right? Is that like, Samus has to commit. And it's actually like, I don't think that's the case. You can still figure out some weird BS. Right? And this is, so whenever I ask, like, Duck about situations that don't have clear answers like this, the most common answer I get from him is, watch them.
Well, I mean, the question again, it's if Duck is just purely telling you watch them, that seems like an incomplete statement of you still have to like put yourself in a spot where it like lights them on fire.
Yes.
That's not a good enough. That's not a good enough statement from Duck.
That's
it's
implied in the whole watch them thing, is that you are trying to keep track of where they want you to be, where they're threatening, and where you can threaten from without giving up like position or risk, right?
Sure.
That's the idea that I've come to establish with it. It's like, okay, like, but it's all contained in that statement. So whenever I see like a Fox go up there, it's like, okay, I gotta watch them, and then like I try to move to a safe spot and look at how they want to interact with me.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, I understand now. So the question, I guess, is really like, if we're trying to keep... So let's pause for a second. Let's stop for one quick second. So if we have a cornered Fox, then... Well, really, in that situation, right, if someone is cornered, their only real two options are to... If I am in a position to purely reversal them, right, and they are not willing to attempt a move on me to get reversaled. So if they're cornered and they're like... Say if they're cornered and they're camping me, their only real two options are to keep camping or to see if they can get an out and get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, in that case, really... So again, the question would be, again, at that point, we're still playing neutral. Nothing has really changed. Like, it's almost like we described Puff, where really the presence really doesn't matter.
Correct.
As much.
Correct.
Like, presence doesn't really matter. We can't keep them cornered forever.
Yes.
It's just a matter of, like, picking a position that's like good, and then watching what they do.
Yes. And making decisions based on...
Based off of what they do. Yeah.
Yep, and the risk reward of the situation, yes.
Sure. Alright. Roll, keep going.
You've effectively gotten a knockdown on that fox at top platform.
Yeah, but I mean, like...
Nice.
It wasn't, like, yeah, so it was safe, which is good. Because I got knocked down. And you can wiggle out of it.
It was reasonable reward.
Yeah, it was, well, I mean, it was safe. There was, like... Yeah. Or at least once the hit happened, it was safe.
Right.
I don't know if it would be considered safe if...
It's a not punishable on hit. And that's, like, pretty good for the damage that you're getting there.
Yeah.
At the percentage. Get him. Oh.
Again, I don't think it's...
Do you know something I figured out recently?
Sure.
Let me see if I can go back to this. Okay. So, I'm gonna... Okay. So, Fox is in this animation state, right?
How many frames is he in there for?
20.
Just for reference, 20 frames? Okay, sure.
Okay, so if he ever lets go of B, then, like, let's say that even for 1 frame he lets go of B.
After the animation or during the animation?
During this animation.
Okay, sure.
Then what happens is that he is going to end up in this...
Is he gonna be like in an animation of letting go shine, which is like...
No, of letting go of shine, yeah. He's gonna be forced into that.
So he literally can't let go of shine.
He can't let go of B right now.
He cannot let go of B at any time within this whole entire...
Correct.
Within this animation. But
even for 1 frame, even if he starts pressing it again, it doesn't matter.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
So after that's done, he enters this state, which is the ability to... now he can jump out of shine.
Sure.
However, he probably cannot let go of B. If he lets go of B and does not press jump on the next frame, which is pretty difficult unless you claw, that means that he will enter that ending animation again. So here he does turn around. He buffers the turnaround out of reflector. And then he's clawing right now. He clawed...
He's a box player.
Oh, yeah. So he's holding B.
He's a box player.
And he's actually, like...
wave dashing out a shield.
Right. So, like, you can only wave dash out if you claw, use a box, or use tap jump.
Sure.
Okay, so then he does this. And it's not going to work. Okay, so, like, I think if you had short hop, you would have been fine.
Yeah, I don't think that the scenario where, like, the idea that, so for example, I shoot a missile there and he decides to full hop, right? Like, the possibility of him shining or doing something else, it's so many one-for-one situations where, like, shine gets covered by short hop dare. But what about if he full hops, right? The question at that point is, well, now I have to go and get into a position where it's a good position and wait, right? But, like, that really doesn't compute with...
Well,
with like the shine
you can react to this. You can react to this.
Yeah, I can, but like by how much, right? Like I'm now plus. I can react to like the shine. Right?
What I recommend for this distance is run up spot dodge. And then down smash.
See how let's see. So like spot dodge is like 22 frames total.
Yeah.
And so I have to spot dodge. Like, I have to get a spot dodge really early in, so I can at least cheese him with anything, right?
Right. Or you could run up and low profile, like run cancel down tilt or down smash. That's also really good here.
Yeah.
You can also crouch power shield this.
I mean, yeah, that does work as well. But, like, again, it's like a one-for-one, right? Where, like, it's if we refer to, again, picking a position and finding a good opportunity and seeing what they do, right? Like, the position of B being really far away and shooting a missile, is only good to see if like he's going to shine, right? It's not really good to see if he jumps. It's not good like if he does anything else against other than shine, we're not in a position to cover it, right?
Well, if you're over here and he jumps right now to get over the missile, now you're at like a good
Now I'm in
spot
a
to
spot
interact
to
with
like look
the
at
full hop.
yeah, but then like at that point, then I have to like if we're picking that position, then now we can observe, right? But like
Yes.
if I jump, then like I'm not observing. I'm not
Yeah,
lighting the
I
fire
don't
to
like the
ask for
preemptive
shine.
jump. I'm not a huge fan of the preemptive jump.
Like I don't know. Like it's like for example, right? When Fox is like on the platform, like we said, and I preemptively jump,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm lighting I am incentivizing him to like back off because I can interact with him in that spot.
Sure.
But I'm giving him interaction on the ground, right?
Yeah.
But if he goes to the ground, I should be able to go back to the ground and theoretically pick another position.
Yes.
But if he's on the ground right now and he's put up a direct counter to this missile, right?
Uh-huh.
By jumping over it, I'm either hard countering his shine, which requires me to get to have like the horizontal trajectory already in place, right?
Yes.
But if I choose that horizontal trajectory, then if he jumps, I'm not in a position to actually look at him and see what he does when he jumps, right?
Yes.
Like there has to be a position where, like I guess the idea is that shining and jumping.
Right. So what
They
I
have
recommend
this-
doing
like,
is I recommend going here and crouching.
And then what? Like is that the waiting spot? Like we can power shoot the back at him, but it's still like we still have to deal with the threat of missile. We have to like jump early. Like if he keeps shining, right? We still have to,
Yeah.
like,
But
jump
the
over.
longer he holds shine there, the more you can be confident that he's not jumping out.
That's true.
Right?
But,
And
like,
then you do power shield into short hop dare.
We're not there. So let's see.
Did you see my like video thing that's in the Fox channel called Reflector
Fox
Counterplay?
channel? I don't watch any. I don't.
Look at the Reflector Counterplay video that I posted.
Let me. Is it new or? Oh yeah. Okay. MP4. Sure. I watched it. So, you this. Yeah. So you. So that's one, right? So you've dash attacked the missile. So you've dash attacked the missile and. Do you dash attack the missile in order to hit the missile? Put yourself in the real back animation and then punish him with down smash.
Right.
You low profiled the missile with down smash.
Or down tilt. Yes.
Or down tilt. You power shield. Wait, what the hell? Are you? So have you programmed this Fox to like do a move out of shield
No.
or out of shine? Have you
No,
programmed,
no,
programmed
no.
to do? So you in 10 seconds in you do the full hop. You do a full hop, right? Or you do your missile and you do a short hop like down air.
Yeah.
But like, if you ever programmed a Fox to do anything out of the shine, then how do you know if like that's true, right?
It's like tight. It's not always true, but it's like they have to hit this timing on like. It's very difficult for Fox to hit this timing on when to jump out of the reflector, because if they let go of B or try to jump out and they can't jump out, then they end up in that lag.
Yeah.
And remember, like, it takes them like 8 frames to do like a rising back air or something. Or like a rising nair, right?
Yeah.
It takes them like 6 frames to do rising nair. And so like there's
Yeah.
extra frames there for us. We're at a very specific advantage. So it's better for us to try to attack.
Okay, sure. So I can. It's like a puff shielding situation. Where It's
Right.
like not true, but it's like ass.
Yes.
It's not true, but it's like it's better than fucking nothing.
Yeah, and you could do the last one that I demonstrated if you're really worried about being true.
Let me look at this. So I don't want to be true. I just want a position where it's like I'm not entitled to like move, right? Like I don't
Right.
have to move.
So
or
so
do
if
anything,
you shoot and like you know that like there's a reflector there, you can trade with the reflector in a way that also hits them with F smash.
But like again, right? It like what's like the position to watch for a full hop isn't the position to watch for a shine.
Right.
Because they're not the same. They're like I can't cover, but like I can't cover both in the same position.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean,
By
from this distance, you shouldn't try.
Okay, sure, but
Right?
the
But
question is that
but you're
do we
moving
even
into a
have more than
position. You're moving into that crouch position that I'm recommending, right? If you move into that crouch position, now if they jumped over, you're not in danger, and you're there to play neutral. If they shine, now you're in a position to potentially punish because you can power shield. And if you power shield this missile, the missile to power shield, or the missile to reflector thing, the missile will never disappear. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay, so the missile will never disappear. So you can keep playing this ping pong until you want to do something else.
Well, I mean, in theory, yeah, I'd have to get to a position where it's like doable, right?
Well, this is
Like
why I
you
recommend
could, theoretically, you could.
look
Well,
at the
theoretically,
height of the missile you're shooting, right?
Well, let's think about it for a second, right? Let's think about this reflector thing. If Fox is really going to hold shine indefinitely,
Yeah.
we are more motivated to, if we have a lead, we are more motivated to literally keep them in shield.
Sure.
Indefinitely,
Yeah.
than to do anything else. We could literally wobble them. We could infinite a spacey.
Yeah. That is
this,
that is technically true. If we have a stock lead, we can
and
just
and it would not be hard. It
Right,
would not
right,
be
right.
hard.
Right.
Right?
You're right.
If we really wanted to hard, like it's. I think I'm not. Maybe I'm not listening here, but my question really isn't. I don't feel like my question is being fulfilled properly into my expectations, or I'm just being either stubborn or I'm not listening. But again, right? I'll reiterate. If I shoot a missile,
Yeah.
and I walk forward,
Mm-hmm.
and if I think the fox is going to jump, I do not. If regardless if there is a platform, if there's triplats, right?
Yeah.
I can full hop. If I can short hop, and I can look at where the fox goes.
Mm-hmm.
If I expect to shine, then I am more inclined to. I'm inclined to full hop, but change drift, right?
Sure.
Or
short hop. I think short hop is better.
Or just short hop, but if we can do short hop no drift, then we kind of have the same position.
No, you can short hop approach if you expect reflector, right?
Yeah, but we can't really short hop approach if we're expecting full hop, right?
Right. So it's like that's more of a hard read.
Yeah, so this isn't this situation isn't a situation where shooting a missile isn't a situation where we can really watch and see what they do.
Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Okay, so here. Let's look at this because I don't think we're looking at the frames of this. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we knew. Imagine we were walking forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
We knew that this happens here, right? And let's say we were walking here regardless of what happens. Now we know that there's a reflection and there's a missile coming. So now we can, on reaction, crouch.
Okay, sure. 15 frames. So what was that? 15 frames in after shine? Sure.
Yeah. And because we had an audio cue and everything, right? Let's give me one. We can even give it a few more, right? We have frames to work with. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? So now we can still crouch and then we're ready to crouch power shield in 3 or 4 frames here, right?
Is that predicated on the fact that he shined early though?
Yeah, but you can only reflect with frame 4 of shine.
That's true. Okay, sure.
Right? What frame of shine did he...
Wait, say that. So frame 4. So if the hitbox comes out frame 1, then what are frames 2 and 3 of all about then?
They don't have anything. Then nothing happens. Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3,
Okay, so
4,
sure,
5,
frame 4.
6.
So that's way better than I expected. Sure.
Yeah. So he kind of has to do it early. Right. So then you see this happen, and then you're just okay. The main thing that messed you up here is that you did a very preemptive jump. But you actually have a lot of time to react to reflected missile as long as you aren't dashing in, you know?
Sure.
And then
I just don't again, I don't know.
Once you're here, right? Now I think this is a good distance for a reflected missile as like a unreactable zone. So like once
Sure.
you're here, right, and you power shield back, now you look at how the fox is going to deal with this power shield.
Well, that way I have to power shield and I have to then do something. Is what you're saying?
Well, you could just power shield.
Yeah. So like again, I have to power shield and then I have to see what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. How many frames does it cost us to let go of shield though? After
16.
Because I know power shielding a projectile.
16,
power
16,
a projectile,
16.
And it's all from just letting go of the shield.
Yep.
Because we have no lag off
Yep.
power shield and projectiles.
Yep.
So 16 frames to power shield and projectile.
Yeah.
16 frames predicates us to like, so us letting go of shield for them is reactable, or technically reactable. We're saying that 15 frames is like human reaction time, right?
Right. If you have a Q on frame 1 like Shine.
Sure. Yeah. But
Right. Like I don't have an audio cue on my letting go of shield, so it's harder to react to.
to base it.
So then like this whole sequence is like incredibly difficult to hit, right? Because like you're buffering a turnaround, which happens on frame 4 again, and then you jump and then back air, which costs so many more frames. So like even with your incredibly telegraphed jump, he still has a really hard time getting any kind of counterplay out of it because of how many frames it takes him to do everything at a human level. Oh wow, you still have your shot. Nice. F tilting before 50, sure. I mean, this is Morse code we're talking about.
I mean, what is it? 50's predicated on knockdown, right?
Yeah. See, like, that was definitely reactable. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so that one...
Again, it's reactable,
yeah.
And I have to position myself in a spot where...
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Just, like, you're rushing in, you're putting yourself... You're making it harder for yourself to react.
Alright. So I guess I'll just, like, I'll submit to the idea that at that point I really should just be, like, full hopping if I want to see what happens after,
Or crouching.
But, like, it's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, like, not covering this... They're never going to cover the same thing.
Kind of.
Right here, right? Let's talk about this corner, like that corner interaction, right?
Yeah.
So, 10%, right? So if we're talking like 10%, if we're talking like sub 50, right?
Yeah.
Dash attack's not gonna do anything. F tilt's not gonna do anything.
I like wave dash forward up tilt.
Up tilt costs us like what? Let's see. Like if.
But when we're wave dashing forward, the ending sliding frames of our wave dash are used during up tilt. So we're actually like slowly sliding forward with the startup frames of the up tilt going into up tilt range.
Let me look at melee frame data again.
Sure.
So we'll look at Samus's up tilt. Let's see when it comes out. Yeah, it comes out frame 14.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only thing that the only time it would be like reasonable at all would be like it would be reasonable to do like, so for example, Fox is actionable like at any time. Frame 14 frame 14 startup isn't reactable by any means.
Right.
But like if I want to like cover my ass, I have to be like for strong hits, I don't think I'm in a position like, let's see here. Like there's a knockdown window that like has to be there. Like a magic knockdown number probably in terms of percent where like I can hold down ASDI down and I should be fine. But like if we're outside of that range, then we're like actually risking something pretty big. Right, with up tilt.
What do you mean?
Am I so if I wave dash in an up tilt and then at the same time I'm up tilting, right? Once the start happens, I start buffering down, like ASDI down.
Yep.
If they nair, right, and I'm low enough percent, the Sakurai angle shouldn't work, and
Correct.
like it's for some percentage threshold, I should be able to still ASDI down, and I
Yes.
should be able to like
Yes.
or I should be safe at the most to anything aside from their move. At least, right?
I think you would still like be okay against Nair.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is if they hit me, I'm not gonna get hit again after the first hit.
Right.
Right. If I, what do I say here? How do I say it? Right. Like so, and then, like, but that's like the minimum, right? The maximum would be like, I get a sick punish, right? I manage to get like a CC down smash or something else.
Yeah.
Which is like hunky dory for me. If
Are you just talking? Are you just talking through risk reward of this up tilt?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, if I do it at a higher percent, right?
I'm
gonna get put in knockdown at some point. By ASDIing down, I'm gonna be stuck on the ground, and that's like bad. That's like, I don't know how many frames it takes for us to get up.
26 or 35.
Well, I mean, both of those are still heavily reactable. And
for Fox, it's pretty annoying, yeah. But if he wants to put himself in position to do that, then he gets like destroyed by get up attack.
Let's see where the get up. This melee frame doesn't have get up attacks, but like, I know that like it's a known thing, right?
Yeah, they can like run up crouch. Yeah, like
you run up crouch, right?
There's like that
point,
stuff.
Like your SOL. Like you
right. Knockdowns aren't good. I agree with you, but if you get knocked down away from Fox and then you roll away, it's not easy for them to get you.
Well, I mean, that's also predicated on the idea that like if I roll into the ledge, right? If I roll back into the ledge.
Right.
You could
also Om's attack across the stage if you're worried about the
attack across. Yeah, that's true. I could Om's attack across the stage.
Yeah.
But like again, it costs frames that like it's kind of weird. Like it's not a good spot to be in.
Right, but like the same things that beat the up tilt beat the F tilt.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
But like your risk reward is just better.
Let me take a look at this really. Let me think about this really quick. So let's again, up tilt is, let's see, like active, right? Like up tilt has like it's active for, let's see, 14,
I think
15,
it's
16,
4.
Like 4, yeah,
frames?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, 1.
No, it's 4, right?
14, 15, 16, 17. So it's 4 frames right there.
Yeah.
14 through 17. So it's active for 4 frames. Has ISA on 35 and ends at 39.
Right. So there's only 18 frames of lag, right? Like.
Well, I mean, F tilt starts up on frame 6.
Yeah.
Ends in frame 8. Technically, really, is only 2 active frames because the first active frame is like.
Correct.
Like on the 3D axis, which is like really is only purely on the 3D axis, or is on the Z axis, which is like not good, which really isn't useful for us.
Mm-hmm.
Has total frames on 31. Or has 31 total frames in an ISA of 30, right?
Yeah.
So by spending an up tilt, we're only like, if we're doing ISA as like a cost, right? We're only adding on 5 frames extra, right?
Right. And all of those are
like
startup.
I mean, it's equally it's equally shitty, right?
No, the end lag of F tilt.
Well, there's less end lag because
F tilt is much more whiff punishable.
Yes, it is, because it's 6th rate where compared.
I'm sure you've like thrown out an F tilt and gotten nared for it.
Oh yeah, no, that's a no-brainer.
It's a lot harder to whiff punish an up tilt.
Sure.
And like the thing is, like, if you were going to get hit in the startup of your up tilt, in most cases that Fox is approaching you too soon for you to F tilt anyways.
Well, let's discuss something else, right? Let's discuss reactability in that case, right? Up tilt starts frame 14, right? And then it goes from 14 through 17, right?
Sure.
I say that both of these are reactable. Oh, yes.
I mean, if you can recognize frame like 1 or 2 of up tilt, right? Can you?
But like by frame 14, right? By frame 14, you should be like, let's see here.
Well, like look at frame 1. Look at frame 1 of up tilt, right? The leg doesn't get raised for quite a while.
The leg gets raised in frame 4.
Right. So that makes this whole thing not a reactable move.
So if we're considering frame 4 the start, like if we're considering frame 4 like unrecognizable, right? Of up tilt. If we're let's say frame like frame 2 or 3 is like when let's say like frame 3, right? Because her like leg is now off the ground and like is starting to go above her head. So if we add 15 frames to that, that's frame 18, right?
But think about stuff like F tilt, right? Where they lift where the back leg is lifted and Samus is like turned. It's really difficult to distinguish these animations.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, sure. So, well, I mean, in that case, it's not like the risk reward for up tilt is there. Like it's higher reward.
Right.
And it's the same amount of risk as like F tilt, but it's all predicated on the idea that you're still using F tilt then.
Well, like you're moving into poke range. I'm saying, and like so it's at this percentage. I think that it's much better to be trying to hit with moves that get you something,
rather than moves that that will get you fucked if you get hit.
Yeah. Against Fox, because like Fox usually doesn't like to go really hard into Samus, right? So he's unlikely to touch that leg that you have extended upwards. This is different than Marth, who is swiping at the air in front of you a lot of the time.
Trying to like do shit on
right.
you all time, all day long.
Right, and if you up tilt against Marth, oftentimes that leg gets clipped, right? But Fox's options are mostly aimed at our lower end. That's why we use F tilt, right? And up tilt just kind of hangs outside of that area and then sweeps down and attacks with this big hitbox that does lots of damage and gets a hard knockdown.
I'd have to actually think about. I'd actually have to think about knockdown percents in that case. If we're doing like magic knockdown, if we're doing like magic numbers, I'll just say 50%.
Right, I like 50%. I like 50%. I like 50%.
Yeah, if we're doing 50%, fine. I'll just say 50% and just go with that. For like most characters, knockdown happens there, and until then, up tilt is probably a better move to use, or a better move to spam, I guess.
Yeah, and like up tilt like sends in a knockdown at like 8%. So, like it's a very usable move in that regard.
Right.
And even if they're grounded, it crumples them.
Sure. Oh gosh, where is there a website that has like do I have to go on Smashboards to find knockback and knockback growth of like all these moves?
No, KB growth is on I Need Data.
Oh fucking hell! All right, I have to learn that.
KB growth is 100 for up tilt.
In comparison, like what? In comparison to dash tag and forward tilt?
Sure. F tilt.
Do we have it up right now? Perfect.
Yeah, I mean I always have I Need Data up. You know.
I mean, I saw the background of your computer there for a second. You have like way too much bullshit on there.
Yeah, F tilt is 100.
F tilt is 100. Dash tag is 100. What about then? Now tell me up tilt.
I mean dash tag. No, up tilt is 100. F tilt is 100 and dash tag is 105.
105. But then what's the base knockback of those?
The base knockback of dash attack is 22.
22.
The base knockback of F tilt is 10. And the
22, 10,
and the base knockback of up tilt is 40.
Okay, sure. So that's why it's so good. Sure. So like 40. Just a question: is knockback also calculated off of percent damage done, or is it? Or is knockback? So for example, is knockback calculated after the move's percentage is added on, or is it calculated before the move's percentage is added on?
Oh, before the move's percentage is added to the thing, yes.
Okay, but the magnitude percentage that the move adds on doesn't affect the actual calculation, correct?
It does.
Oh shit, alright.
Yeah, because up-angled and downward-angled F-tilts are one greater and one fewer than the side angle, respectively.
So it does...
Yeah, it increases knockback.
God, what a pain. All right, sure.
That's what staling does. Staling just affects your damage dealt, which affects knockback.
Oh no, yeah, knockback. Okay, so that is a pain. That's it's a pain in the butt to deal with. But That's fine. That's just I'll live with it. I'll just do with the practitioner's knowledge of I'll just work the practitioner's knowledge right now and just live with it, I guess.
Okay. So should we keep going?
Yeah. So like I guess we'll discuss here as well. We'll kind of see that it's just not like the corner again. Like if we go back to that position, right, where he's just in like the corner. If like keep going back a little bit, right, like right there, he's. It's very clear that like that shooting of the missile, right? Like I don't know a position where like if he's under a platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he's under a platform and he decides to move back, right? And he's not biting. Where he decides like I can either shoot like where he can choose to either shoot a laser or go to a platform or go like to the side platform or full hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
The question is where is the position that I can actually pick a spot to even like interact, like where's the spot to watch, right?
Sure.
We've talked about the spot to watch for like
I like spacing out just at the edge of his dash short hop length.
dash into short hop, because like we could do like you could talk dash length, right? But like short hop really is like short hop can be done anytime within dash and run.
Yes. I'm saying that
So,
like a
really,
dash immediate short hop at us, right?
really,
Because,
if I was to pay attention to what you're saying, I wouldn't even consider. If I was to add on, I wouldn't even consider saying dash short hop. I would just say pay attention to his dash dance,
sure.
right? Oh, like
Sure.
pay attention to where he can like dash dance to.
Right, because there's also run up shine.
Like right outside of there is probably the position that you want to pick.
Sure,
To actually
yeah,
watch
yeah,
what he
yeah.
does.
And
That's probably the most appropriate spot to like choose.
Run ups are really annoying, especially on box because they can hold C stick down while that's happening.
Yeah, I mean that's like they can hold C stick down and buffer it, right?
Right, and that's
They
why
can buffer it.
that's why I like down
Down tilt.
smash until like I like using down smash up until around 15% and then down tilt. Down tilt will knock down down tilt will just pop up at that percentage.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean it's all predicated on getting into the position in the first place, right?
Yes, I like being here.
If we think we have the balls to even approach him, right?
Yeah,
Like if we have the balls to even approach him in the first place in that position, if we want to call out like a jump,
right, but
right?
we don't want to be stationary either. Right? The thing that I don't like about what you're doing here is that you're staying here and you're throwing moves out.
That don't well I mean
I'm
throwing moves out. Well, I'm not watching.
Yes.
Throwing moves out implies that I'm not watching.
Right, exactly.
Right?
So I would like here you can shimmy.
Well, I mean by shimmying, right? So by shimmying, if we're not walking shimmying, then like if I'm not walking, like first off, our walking and standing puts us in the most actionable states, or like the most freely. I'll define it as freely actionable states.
Yeah, I personally like wave dash back walk forward.
We are not locked out of anything, right?
Right. I like wave dash back walk forward for that reason.
But for example, let me think for a second. Let me think about this. Let me go through this again, right? So so we can't do so walking around allows us to be more actionable.
Sure.
But it really technically isn't a shimmy, because if we're talking about any character with a dash dance, most characters, pretty much most characters with long enough dash dance that we're interacting with, where the dash dances are outside of the dash dance range.
Yes.
Is where we want to watch.
Yeah.
Let me get a glass of water. So walking for most characters that are have a fast dash dance, maybe we could talk Pete. Well, all characters, right? If we're fucking around with their dash dance length, really walking doesn't get us much, purely because they'll be on top of us by the time we know it, and we're
just walking as part of our shimmy, right? If we want to press a button, we can dash up using wave dash.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to reason why walking is bad. I'm not trying to reason why wave dash back and then walk up is bad. I'm trying to reason why walking purely isn't good.
Because walking backward is too slow and is vulnerable to overshoots.
Actually, how many frames would the turnaround of walking?
7.
How many frames does it cost? 7. Oh shit! Seriously, fuck. Damn. So yeah, no wonder it's
Tilt turn.
so that's why it's
Tilt
bad.
turn
Sure,
is
sure.
really bad.
So tilt turn. So like, well, I mean, really,
I'm gonna double check
like,
that it's 7, but I'm pretty sure it's. Oh, sorry, it's 11. Yeah.
oh fuck, seriously, 11?
It's 11 frames.
11 frames. You're not using a tilt.
Correct.
Wow, that's that's actually fucked up. Holy shit.
Tilt turn.
Now tell me.
Yeah, what's up?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, tilt turn is just like really slow.
Well, I mean, no shit. That's what you're telling me. That's
Yes.
what I'm realizing. So again, right? Like if I'm using tilt turns to like shimmy, really it's 11 frames one way and 11 frames the other way. That's like 20. So that's 22 frames to move back and forth.
Right.
Along, like to reposition. That's like reactable.
Yeah.
That's like the realm of like, whenever you're starting to move, you're like gonna be reactable.
Yeah.
And that's just a pain in the ass. So, now tell me how many frames it costs us to do a wave dash.
13.
If we're doing like a good one. 13 frames. So, by doing something that costs, so like, it costs us more lag to do a wave dash, but we're moving.
Yes.
Right? And so we've technically saved frames by doing that, rather than, we save frames by wave dashing, rather than turning, because we've saved the frames in terms of how much we need to like walk to the spot we want to go in the first place.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, fine. So turning around and turning around and walking, like you have to like walk in only one direction to make it even worth your while. Okay, fine. So that's why wave dashing back one way. Like really, yeah, we're avoiding tilt turn is the key here.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Fine. So I get what you're trying to say here. I guess at that point, I guess I just have to watch him. Or I have to like watch and see what they do, I guess, if I really want to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta play the fighting game, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, the question, like, again, the next question, like, when we talk about Puff, you already gave me the idea, you already gave me the options of, here's what you do, right?
Sure.
We already talked about what exactly you do.
But there's a lot of watching them, too.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of watching them, right? But, like, you know exactly what the first initial thing you want to do is, like, already there, right? Like, again, so if we're talking Puff, right? The first thing we want to try fucking doing, right, is to, like, see if we can get a down air, right? We want to watch and see what they do, and we want to try to get a down air, right? And then we want to play off of, like, the next thing and the next thing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, but, in the same thing for, like, and the same thing for other positions where they're in the air, right? Where we don't want to be in a position where we're directly under them, right? We have to see what they want to try to do in that position, and we play off of that, right?
Yeah.
And the initial thing we want to do is just to up tilt any sort of approach on an angle. So the question here for me, I guess the question for me is to see like what's the first thing we want to do. Like again, up tilting their moves at like the angle. So like avoiding this certain position in the air, like for when Puff's in the air, avoiding the position where Puff is at a steep angle and up tilting any other approach that's not at that angle covers like pretty much all scenarios.
Yeah.
Where like it theoretically, if we were to perfectly maintain that spot, we would be able to shut out we would be able to shut out Puff if they're facing towards us. If they're facing behind us, the idea is we just want to run away, or we want to like we want to wait until they're on the ground and they land, and we want to see what we want to short hop dare them, right? And that like
or like if we have a good understanding of where they want to weave after their back air, then we can try to bait their back air and then attack them with a whiff punish.
Yeah, that's true. We can try to bait the back air as well, but that's really kind of predicated on them wanting to go in.
Right.
And like we've already talked, that's more based on like that's
right.
based on like that's predicated on them wanting to approach, which is then predicated on us like having a charge shot or representing trying to like cheese us a charge shot out, right?
Yeah, and
like,
and one of the nice things is that we can make progress without taking position with charging.
Yeah. So. But like for Fox here, right? If Fox is just like dash dancing in the corner, right? And we're wave dashing at that position, like we have to do like there's I don't know. There's a lot there that's like it's harder to I almost maybe I'm not like maybe it's just because you gave me the options when we were talking about buff, but it just feels harder to unpack that situation and boil it down into like spots where it's or boil it down into like what to do next, right?
Think about your moves that have highest reward.
Well, I mean, our highest if we're talking if we're talking pre-knockdown, right? If we're talking pre-knockdown, I'm going to be rewarded by shooting charge shot. I'm going to be rewarded by shooting missile. But charge shot is going to be, let's see here. Let's look at melee frame data for charge shot, right? So if am I rewarded for charge shot? Definitely if it hits, yeah.
Sure.
But neutral B starts out on frame 14, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be reactable on startup, but because it's traveling, I don't know how far it travels.
Yeah, it's not. It's not great.
Who knows?
It's not great on traveling, and they also have a frame 4 reflector, right? So.
But it is a good move, right?
Yeah,
it is a move that is high reward and low risk.
Yeah.
Which is what we're predicating
like,
off of.
I think
right?
some of the big ones are like grab is pretty good, up tilt is pretty good, down smash is pretty good.
Well, I mean, grab. So let's talk great grab, right? So if we look at like Fox himself, right? So if we do melee frame data, so grab will get us. I don't know. So like down. So like if we do grab and then we do down. Or no. Let's do grab up throw.
Yeah.
And try to get combo. So like if we do grab up throw, right? So that's 7% right there. If we do down air and just end it there and not have to deal like.
Sure.
Assuming like because we really like. I'd be damned if I get a tech chase off of down air.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah, so like if I do up throw down air, right?
Yeah.
7 frames plus or 7% plus 16%.
Yep. So another 23, and now down tilt's unlocked. Right.
23. Oh, down tilt. So what's the magic number for down tilt?
I like down tilting after around like, I think it's 13. But I could be wrong. I know it's like 15. You're like absolutely fine. Let me. See.
I'll say 30. 30 and then 50 is like 30 is like when you start doing down tilt on top of.
Oh wait, no.
Like
sorry.
It's fair game.
Down tilt knocks down at.
I like how people are like joining and then leaving. It's kind of funny.
Wait a second. Down tilt is knocking down like way earlier. Am I doing this right? Down tilt is knocking down Fox at 0. Yeah, down tilt knocks down at 0. And then what happens is that it's not OMS attackable past 13%.
Down tilt knocks down at 0.
Yeah. So it's also unlocked at the beginning, and it can't be ASDI down teched until
so you have
past 13%. Yeah. Past 13%, they can't even OMS attack it.
Well, I mean, at that point, right, if they're doing an OMS attack, like, so down tilt comes out frame 6, right?
Yeah.
And if we're playing that position, then anything you do, so like if we look at Fox's jump, I don't know, like if we look at melee Fox's jump squat.
3
frames. So like 3 frames onto like a 4 frame area, so that's 7 frames, right?
Sure.
But like, so it's gonna be tight for them to try to beat it out, right? But like, as soon as they get into the air, there's gonna be a point where like, they're gonna get over it.
Yeah,
it's tight, but it's workable. Is what
down tilt's great if it's not shielded, and bad if it's shielded, because it's minus 25 on shield.
Well, I mean, so like if we're doing shield, right? If they're doing shield will come up frame 1. But because down tilt, if we're in a position, so if we have frame 6, so yeah, frame 6 move. Remind me again. So it's 3. So what? How long is dash, and then it goes into run? Because we can't run cancel. It's like we want to run cancel, right?
Yeah.
So how many frames is dash?
Dash is I believe it's 8.
8 frame. Ooh, that's kind of. So that's what is that? Dash. So like we dash for 8 frames, and then run cancel in the first frame.
Yeah. So.
And we do a 6 frame. Yeah. And then we do a 6 frame move. I don't know how many. If there's any lag. When you're doing the crouch, or if you can immediately just run cancel.
Run cancel takes 2 frames. It's 1 frame of run break.
Ooh, so like 16 frames, right? So 16 frames. So at some point, like it's fucking tight. It's 16 frames.
Well, like, are you reacting to my frame 1 of dash by saying, oh, they're gonna down tilt me?
Look, I'm not looking at the. I'm on the predication that 15 frames is the reaction time, regardless of what happens. I am not basing it off
that's
any
an
like.
that's an oversimplification, right? So like.
Well, I mean, what do I got to work here?
So
Okay, what do I know?
listen. Like if I the reason why I was counting 15 frames is because Shine has an audio cue that happens on frame 1, right? And they have to do something. They're not actionable until frame 4 of that, right? And then like there's a projectile coming at them, so they know that they have to reflect it. The thing about this situation is that this is the whole idea behind like fucking Sheik boost grab, right? Let's determine a scenario where Sheik can boost grab you, but it takes Sheik, let's say 20 frames to do the full sequence. The grab hitbox will come out on frame 20, right? In order to react to that, you have to react to their dash on frame 5. And tell yourself, they're going to grab me, so I need to spot dodge. Like,
say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Like okay, in order for me to dodge a boost grab from Sheik,
sure.
Assuming this sequence takes 20 frames, and it's going to like the hitbox comes out on frame 20. I need to be able to spot dodge this. Spot dodge happens on frame 2. So I need to react to this on frame 3 of Sheik's dash.
Why on frame 3 again? Is there like a visual indication that's like...
Because it takes me 15 frames to react to that, and then 2 frames to spot dodge.
Okay, so the cost of like doing anything... So the cost of doing anything initially is like added on to the reactions, what you're saying.
Well, yeah, and here's the thing. So the
fact that jump squat exists, right, or the fact that like spot dodge has vulnerability right at the start, is like quote unquote added on to the reaction time. Is what you're really trying to say here.
Well, yeah, but that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, should I always react to Sheik's frame 3 of dash with a spot dodge? That's incredibly exploitable.
Okay, sure.
So in that situation you're talking about here, we are the Fox is reacting to frame 1 of our dash with shield.
Okay, sure. That's... But then at the same time, right, shield, again, like, shielding only gets us, like, what? Like, we still have to watch, like, it's... Shielding is still a state that we have to watch. It's not a state that we can immediately react upon and do something against.
Yeah.
Like, we still have to watch and, like, see what they do.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not a position where it's like, okay, now I can do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a position of, I'm not allowed to, like, make a decision just yet. Because I still don't know what they're going to do. Because jump squat, because any move that we do, like, if we do bomb waveland, right? Bomb waveland's, like, safe, and it's low risk, low reward, which is, like, so it means it's fine to, like, spam, quote unquote.
Right, and it also sets
like,
up for unblockable.
It also sets up unblockable later, but again, 30 frames, like, that's, again, the bomb waveland itself, we've already agreed, costs, like, 32 frames if we're good.
Yes.
Right?
Wait, what?
32 frame... Didn't we agree that 30, like, we have to get doing the bomb and then wave landing costs 32 frames? I think that we did, so we talked about that in passing a couple days ago. In the chat, in main chat.
It's like 12 plus 2 plus 3 plus 10. Sure, it's like 20. It's like 30-ish.
Okay, so 30-ish, right? So the question is that if we do bomb waveland, so if we start our game plan by starting out doing bomb waveland and watching what we do, or watching what they do, because it's 30 frames. It's like what we do next is reactable, right? Or what we do next is, if we bomb and then waveland, right? If we're only bombing and only wave landing, what we do next is perfectly reactable to them, right? We're still watching, and at this point we're still watching, right? We're still watching what they do.
Sure.
Right? And so it's again, it's another position where we have to watch and wait. We don't get to actually like make a big power move yet.
You could go for a shield poke.
We can go for shield poke, right? But, like, again, 30 frames, right? 30 frames. We don't know what they're going to do.
Right, and they don't know what we're going to do either.
We don't... Yeah, they don't know what we're gonna do.
This is a mutually unreactable situation, but they're in shield. With a dwindling shield.
With a dwindling shield, but like, jump squat costs us 4.
Costs us 3.
Jump squat costs them 3.
Costs
Start
us.
F smash.
It costs us 3.
What about Fox? What's their jump squat?
We have equal jump squats.
So jump squat, jump squat costs both of us 3, right?
Yeah.
But if we want to do a shield poke, right? If we want to, I'm just like talking through this. I'm sorry.
Sure, if they're like jumping, then like.
Yeah. So like if like so the decision, right? So they're spending okay, sure, they're spending resources to hold shield if they choose to hold shield, right?
Yeah.
So really the question is that like is the bomb waveland, so like by doing the bomb waveland, like the question is where do we even watch what they do, right? So for example,
no, you're not watching them anymore. This is a mutually unreactable situation.
Well, I mean, how is it mutually explain? So if like what if they don't know what we're gonna do, right? If we bomb waveland away, so if we do bomb and then go up in the air, right?
Sure.
I think we've already discussed. So we've already discussed that if glass, fuck, I'm out of water. Whatever. So if Samus is neutral colored, right? Base palette, the explosion and the bomb, the explosion and Samus's ball form are hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to know where they're gonna go from like
Correct.
the first bit.
Yeah.
Which does like pad us a little bit, but if we go above them, right? If we go above them, we might have like a situation which is like a mutually unreactable, right? Which is nice. But if we bomb waveland back, again, like I said, it's 32 frames, and
you're counting too many frames here, right? The reaction queue is us landing on the ground and having 10 frames of landing lag, right?
So you're saying the reaction, because it's indistinguishable, because they don't know where we're going.
Right.
If we waveland back, the distinguished portion is when we're on the ground after the wave, once the waveland started.
Yes.
So how many frames are in the waveland then?
10.
10. So okay, sure, fine. So if it's 10 frames, right? So we put ourselves in 10 frames of lag, and now let's look at the F smash here. So it's 10 frames of end lag there, and then it's 10 if we assume that we're in the position to like shield poke them, right? If their shield is low enough and we're in a position to shield poke them with dangled F smash,
yes,
then what's truly predicated on is that like that would be 20 frames total, correct?
Yes.
If we say their
right.
reaction starts, if like they start knowing what we're doing.
Right. And what I'm saying here is they have to make an inference based on like, oh, my shield is low and they're actionable. I need to do something, right?
Yes.
So it becomes a mutually unreactable situation in which we have to play a mix-up, right? If they do an out of shield option, then our F smash will not hit, and that's true.
Yes.
Right? But we're trying to do this in situations where F smash is going to get us good reward.
Yes.
Right? So that's why risk reward really matters a lot. And if we believe that they're spooked and want to leave the situation, then after our bomb waveland away, we don't necessarily have to go for the shield.
Yeah, we don't have to do anything. It's like quote unquote safe, like I said before.
Right. It's a contextual situation where we have the advantage.
But the question is so the stop and wait though, right? So we stop and wait to see what they're going to do. So if we get to their dash dance range, right? If we get outside their dash dance range, and we stop and wait to see what they do.
Yeah.
And if they shield, like so for example, we're in the corner and they shield, right?
Okay.
And we do a bomb waveland.
Okay.
The what I want to get at is that we've stopped and waited to see if they've shielded. Now we've done a bomb waveland. Now we need to stop. Like it's like we have to stop and it's not a stop and wait, but it's still like we need to choose. Like it's either we either stop and wait and see what they need to do immediately.
Yeah, it's a slight advantage situation.
I mean, it's still an immediate, like, we can choose to immediately F smash and shield poke them if He
right.
needs the option
But
to provide
even
himself.
even without that, we're in slight advantage.
Yes, but we still need to see it's.
Yes, to
Like,
convert to a tangible advantage, we need to actually land a hit, and that is
Yes.
still not guaranteed. I agree with that.
Yes, again, I'm trying to parse out. I am talking through this. I am
Okay.
not trying to argue with you here, Eric. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I am trying to talk my way through this. I'm not trying to be an argue. I'm not trying to argue with you
Okay.
here about this. I'm trying to think through this. Please do not get frustrated with me here.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to compartmentalize when I should be stopping and waiting in this whole shebang. We have stopped and waited once to see that they're going to shield.
Right.
We do a bomb waveland. We now need to stop and wait again to see what they do.
Right.
What's nice about bomb waveland is that because if they don't do something immediately, we can choose next time to do a dangled F smash.
Yes.
Without waiting.
Right.
And that's what's good, is that they have to choose immediately something. They have to choose something. Yeah, they have to choose. So let's say, the bomb waveland. Okay, so waveland you said is 10 frames, right?
Yes.
So if we're saying that even though the whole entire input sequence costs us 32 frames of going up to them, bombing their shield, and wavelanding back and getting on the land of waveland, we are saying that if we are the color of default Samus, and hopefully maybe this works for other Samus as well.
I actually think it's pretty good on all the Samuses.
Okay, fine. We'll go with all Samuses. But the idea is they will not know where we are going until we are already wavelanded. They will not know where we have gone until we have already wavelanded in a direction.
Right. It's very difficult for them to react.
And that waveland should cost us about 10 frames, which is less than 15 frames. Which means that if we are predicating the reaction based off the start of the waveland, where they know which means they know where we're gonna go, or which is predicated off of the waveland.
Right.
We have set up an unreactable situation.
Yes.
But again, unreactable situation doesn't mean do something. It means stop and wait and see what fucking happens. Okay?
Or play a mix-up.
First, we are going to stop and wait and see what happens.
Yes.
If I feel like an asshole, I'm going to do something.
Yeah. I think waiting and watching in a lot of matchups will get you farther.
Eric,
I think it's a good default. As long as we're putting ourselves outside of the range of their unreactable counterattacks. For example,
I just need to know where to stop and where to wait.
Yes.
Eric. I don't need to know how to do it, Eric. You know I know how to do it.
Right.
I just need to know when. That's all I want. That's all I want. Okay? So that's all I got from that.
Yes.
Now, I guess we can roll this next one and see if we can pick out another spot.
Sure.
Right?
You can still see my screen, right?
Sure, yeah. So again, so right there, right? So let's go back to that first spot, right? So he has shield, so right there. Let's talk. So talk me through again. Talk me through the frames and the decision making of this again, right? So we've seen him do. We have seen this guy do shine, and now we are seeing him jump, right?
Yes.
So we have reasoned beforehand that shine starts reflecting on frame 4, right? Yeah. Of the move.
Yes.
And we understand that there is a travel time to missile, which is variable, and God knows how long the missile goes based off of based off of the frame data, which is something I would never keep track of.
Sure.
For this time being, I'm not sweaty enough at this point, and I probably should be. But anyway, if Fox chooses to shine, they are going to be in 4 frames of. They have to invest 4 frames initially to get the reflector.
Right.
Plus 20 frames of input lag to do anything, or plus the 20 input frames of lag to get out of it.
Right.
Plus the choice of what the hell they're going to do afterwards.
Yep. And they have to go through 3 frames of jump squat.
They have to go through 3 frames of jump squat to.
And whatever the startup of their move is, yes.
Yes. So 23. So 20. So 20 plus 4 plus 3. 27 frames total.
Sure. At worst. Before they're like a threat.
At best. At
best. Yeah.
At best.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens if they let go? So remind me again. How many frames does it cost them to let go of their shine?
If they let go of B at any point, it adds 18 frames where they can't do anything.
18 frames. So they choose either between 20 plus 3 plus 4.
Yeah.
27. Or 20 plus 18, 38.
So plus 4, right? So that's
30, oh yeah, no, 24 plus 24. Yeah, 20 so plus 1 plus 18, 42. Yes. Thank you. I'm an engineer. I can do addition, right? But but so that's so like really we hope we're in a position to always cover the let go of shine. We really pray that we are. Like that's like by God, if we're not, then like holy shit.
Yeah, it feels really bad when we're not.
Well, I mean, yeah, yeah, you're right. But anyway, so we've identified that, and so if I choose to short hop right immediately, right to cover anything, right?
Yeah.
If I have, what was it, 30? So like again, so 4, 20 plus 4, yeah. So 20 plus 4 plus 3, yeah, 20. Holy shit, I'm bad at math. Yeah, 27, right? So 27 frames to do 27 frames to get into jump at the first point, right?
Yep.
In the first place.
Yep.
And God knows how many frames afterwards. I'm not going to count. I'm not going to do a best worst case there.
Sure.
I'm just going to keep it at 27, right? Because they could really just waveland and just get out of dodge if really they really wanted to, which would then be a whole nother ballpark, right?
Yeah. It's pretty difficult to do, but sure. We'll say that they can do it.
Yeah.
I won an entire set off of someone accidentally letting go of the B button.
Eric, you've won sets because I've told you to hold shield and just blocking up smash.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
We're not gonna go there, but like we're not gonna go into anecdotes right now.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Like a lot of foxes don't know about this letting go of B button thing.
Yeah, but like I don't. There's I guess we're gonna, if I want to go on a tangent right now, I don't want to predicate a lot of my winnings off of like these sorts of knowledge. Like there's knowledge checks which are good. Like maybe I don't know.
I think this is a reasonable knowledge check, but you don't necessarily have to rely on it.
Yeah, but like it's like if my toolbox is pretty unexpansive.
Sure.
Right. If we consider waiting to be like a toolbox of infinite possibilities, I've been using waiting a lot for like the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gotten me pretty far.
Yeah.
But at some point, like it gets old.
So in this situation, Fox has jumped, right?
Yeah.
I want to get into this situation.
God, there's a fucking fly in my house. Shit.
So like
damn it.
Here.
Oh shit! Sorry.
I don't think you necessarily need to leave the ground.
Yeah. Well, like, so if he shines, right? If he shines this thing, let me find missile. Let's find missile. Let's see what happens if I choose to block the missile. Let's see how. So side B, right? Shield stun 13 frames, right? So if he shines this missile, right, and I block it, I don't power shield it, then 13 frames would imply that.
No, you have to add hit lag.
I have to. Yeah, hit lag. Yeah, I don't know what hit lag is. Hit lag for shield. Yeah, so I don't know hit lag for shield, right? So
I'm pretty sure we're negative as if we just block it.
Okay, fine. That's what the point I wanted to get across, right?
Yeah.
If we're negative on the block, right, and we already kind of acknowledged that Fox is like full hop and short hop kind of emulate what Sheik does to us.
Sure.
In terms of full hop short hop, we're not in a good position. Like we
have to retreat and refresh.
Like we have to. It's, like at this point, right? At this point, right? Again, like it's like that retreating and refreshing could be applied to that last time, right? Where, like we don't want to block. Like you've identified this time around that if they shine it, right? Like watching and waiting isn't good enough. I am not convinced that watching and waiting is good enough because there's not a position where watching and waiting will allow us to then act and cover an option based off of a
Well, why did we
right?
shield?
We want to shield to power shield the missile, right? Which
Okay.
is so like again, we watch and we wait, right? We shoot the missile, we see what happens.
Yeah.
If Fox,
So
if
this implies that we've flubbed.
the shield,
Yeah, because we didn't intend to block the missile.
my bad. I gotta go back. I'm trying to go. I'm not talking about the shield right now. My apologies.
Well,
I'm still.
Why is watching and waiting bad? Why did you bring up the shield example and use that to say that watching and waiting is bad?
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, fuck, I don't know.
Right? Because like, if we shielded the reflected missile, I agree that's not a good position.
It's not.
But
Yeah, it's not a good position.
But it's because we flubbed. We didn't intend to block it, right?
Okay, so it's just not a good. Yeah, it's just not a good position. Yeah.
Right,
It's
and
not
then we
like-
can wave dash back, reset, and then try again. And
Sure.
this time we will try to not block the missile, right? Like,
Yeah. But so now let's go back and just talk about the scenario in the first place where I shoot the missile,
Sure.
right? If I shoot the missile, then if Fox decides to shine it, it costs him 4 frames to like get it costs him 4 frames to actually get the reflection part out.
right.
It costs him 3 frames to get to the air.
Yeah.
And like getting into the air as Fox is like pretty quick.
It is.
And so I could assume that like getting into a position where like he's above the missile and he's not going to get hit is pretty. I'm assuming it's pretty quick. And so there has to be a position where, again, like if I move forward slowly with the missile, like walking forward, right? If Fox decides to full hop, right? I can't cover that, right? I have to go. That's another like watch and wait scenario, right? That's not something where like watching and waiting this one spot isn't enough, right? If Fox decides, so like I guess maybe the scenario where we've talked about shield was pretty good for me to understand this, but we shoot the missile, we walk forward, we watch and we wait.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he shines the missile. The watch and waiting scenario ends. We know what to do next.
Sure.
We shoot the missile. The Fox jumps. We have to short hop now, and we watch and wait there. A watch and wait scenario has now gone into another watch and wait scenario.
You don't have to short hop.
Well, I mean, if Fox is way above me, right, at an angle that I cannot theoretically like chase, right, since we've acknowledged the steep angle where Samus can't actually punish.
Right, but he has to come
Right.
down.
He has to come down, but there's a triplat right there, right?
Yeah.
We have to watch, like, we have to, he has to come down, but the triplat, like, the triplat there, even without the triplat, right?
Mm-hmm.
We still have to watch and wait and see what he does.
Yes, I agree.
And short hopping will allow us to actually properly watch and wait.
Right. Sometimes we can rising fair him.
I don't fucking like Rising Fair. I fucking hate Rising Fair. I hate fucking Rising Fair because I don't want to do it early. Because I lunge. I don't like using Rising Fair.
That's fine.
Purely because
You can also go for a whiff punish by wave dashing back.
That's true. Yeah, he could nair. Yeah, he could nair as well. Like again, that's like a watch and wait scenario. Like that's the first watch and wait scenario of shooting the missile, and keeping like just barely close enough to it, right?
Mm-hmm. There's also
So-
like the potential where you dash forward rising bear to get on the side platform.
Rising Bear.
Yeah,
What?
so that you're trying to hit a sweet spot drive by bear. It's similar to like how Sheiks like to do it, where they're like trying to just like hit a strong bear and get some free damage. Where like
That I.
it's not very like your goal is to just have a safe pathway.
Yeah.
But like I'm not sure how great it is. I think another thing that is reasonable is to be using up tilts outside the range of his landing.
Well, I mean, again, that then combines. So, like, again, that's just like a puff thing, right? Where
Right.
We're covering a non-steep angle, right?
Right, and
Again,
that's
this is a
because there's a range of different drifts and fastfall timings that Fox can do, and up tilt covers more of them than some of our other options, right? So
yeah.
it's a way to cover options while not having to be super precise, and also not having a lot of end lag.
Sure. But then if standing if shooting a missile is watch and wait scenario for the grounded options
Mm-hmm.
of shine and like nair through.
Right.
Now we have a watch and wait scenario in two different action states.
Yes.
Or two different character states of being in the air and being on the ground
Yep.
when the opponent is in the air. Now I have to choose a watch and wait state, right?
Yeah.
Now that's a difficult thing to like do, right? Would that not be considered like a difficult choice to make?
Not really.
Purely in the base. Well, I mean, if we choose to short hop fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we choose to short hop and watch what he does, we've followed him in the air, right? We have followed him in the air.
Okay.
And the next time, like, we are allowed to retreating fair, and so we've covered a safe retreat, right?
Okay.
While representing that we can actually do something in that position.
Yeah.
But if we just up tilt, that's all predicated on them approaching us, right?
Sure.
That's all predicated. That's them doing like all of the work, which I feel is like in some cases a good idea, but I feel that is like that watch and wait scenario doesn't really become a watch and wait scenario purely because it requires them to like bet it all and go above us or try to tomahawk us immediately. Right?
Yeah, but you can also just like not up tilt.
Yeah, I could choose not to up tilt, right? Like it's a watch and wait scenario. It's a scenario where like if we choose not to up tilt, right? Then really we're just waiting for them to like approach, right? And we've not created
Interact. Yeah.
We've not created a mutually unreactable, which is what I'm trying to refer to when I'm referring to watch and wait scenarios.
Sure,
right?
sure. Yeah. Like the Fox is still in some like position where they have to make a decision, but like we're not in mutually unreactable locations yet, right?
Yes, but we've discussed this before in the Fountain of Dreams idea, where now if for example if Fox has triplat, right? And he does the full up and he goes to the top of the triplat, and now he's in the triplat, right?
Yeah.
Our best bet is now to get into a position where we are at a shallow enough angle horizontally to them, or we're at a shallow enough angle to them, right? That we can short hop and then represent fair. And the zero sum of that would be just to push them off the top platform.
I think on this stage you're supposed to full hop and represent fair.
Okay, full hop, sure. But like the option here, so like in short, right? We either choose to full hop now and watch and wait in a mutually unreactable, or we choose to full hop later when they're on a platform. If they're still on the platform, that is, right?
Right.
And maybe get ourselves into a mutually unreactable.
Yeah,
I like
threatening with full hop when Fox is jumping, not when Fox is landed on the top platform.
But what I'm trying to get at here is that we have the choice, the consideration of up tilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
The consideration of standing there and up tilting, which also brings us the consideration of not up tilting, has eventually put us in the spot where we're going to still eventually short hop if they're still on the top platform, right?
Sure.
Like the only mutually unreactable spot that we can put ourselves in is by going up there. Is by getting into an intermediate position.
Or we can stay on the ground underneath the side platform and charge.
Yeah, that's another win scenario, right?
To make progress, right? That's like the idea.
Yeah, to make progress towards the matchup, sure. But like what I'm trying to get here is that like up tilt is not a mutually unreactable situation. It may be rewarding, like we've discussed. At 0%, it is rewarding at all percents. And because it's 0% right now, it is definitely a reward. It's definitely better than our F tilt, because our F tilt will not put us into knockdown and will probably put us negative on hit, probably.
Right.
So, as we've mentioned before, like it's the idea of considering the up tilt in the first place when full hop is when full hop is in this scenario where the missile is shot and we're in a watch and wait scenario where they stay on the ground or they go into the air. Like doing this up tilt stuff doesn't seem to be a good idea on the first run through. Like
as a default, it might not be great, right?
It just doesn't seem right to do.
Sure, I think that's fair. I do think that we do want to watch where they land, because it really can, like, we can attack their landing spots with like anti-air down tilt, and I think that's really strong.
Yeah, but again, that's not like a.
It's not a default thing. It's a call out, right?
That's like a mutual. Again, that's not a mutually unreactable. Like
right. No, I agree with you.
We can't choose. Like we should start with the mutually unreactables, and we're not going into these mutually. Like we're not.
Well, this is somewhat of a mutually uninteractable or
it's
mutually unreactable situation where the fox is full hopped and we're standing, right? So the fox is.
Like, gosh, the idea of like so then. Yeah, so like you said before, the mutually unreactable will then start when the fox is like falling, and we have to pick a position.
Right.
And that's like, I fucking hate that. I really do hate that with most characters, is like catching their fall down. Because like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like, I just don't know how to do it properly, or I don't know when the watch and wait scenario occurs and what position. That's another position where watch and wait really doesn't like fucking help. Or like, I don't know where a watch and wait position like even starts in that point.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where like.
Once dash attack gets unlocked, this idea becomes easier.
Well, I mean, it becomes easier to like throw a dash attack out because then it gives us a knockdown.
Well, yeah, and it also covers a wider range of situations.
Covers a wider range of spaces. It covers a wide range of horizontal space.
Right.
It's like
so it's like different drifts, different fast falls, right?
Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to fucking. Like if there was no triplat there, right? Then if there was no triplat there, then I would have to then we'd have to talk about like what's considered the mutually when is the mutually unreactable wash weed occur? when a character is full hopping and they don't have a side platform and they don't have a top platform to go up to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they go to a side platform, then the mutually unreactable, then the wash weight occurs when we're like right next to the platform.
Right. That's why Stadium is kind of nice for this kind of thing, right? Like.
Yeah, but if again there's also there's that, right? But again, the question here would be, maybe we won't get to answer this tonight, but really the question again, or gosh, we've gone on a tangent from the mutually watch and wait of this to the watch and wait of any sort of scenario where they full hop really without a triplat to go to. Like the question is where does the watch and wait start in the first place? If they're full hopping, where do I gotta be, and where do I have to wait? And what am I looking for?
You just need to be outside of the range of their unreactable moves that threaten you in neutral. So in this situation,
that's a big range, right? And
that's hold on. If you are shooting a missile, you are taking some of those things away. They can no longer run up shining, for example.
I mean, we've taught if we're shooting a missile, right? If we're shooting a missile, if they've already chosen to full hop, right?
Right.
We've already acknowledged that full hopping is getting the character into a full hop makes us go into another watch and wait scenario. By the time they've full hopped and they're coming down, I don't think the missile will be much of an issue.
It's not. I'm saying that here, right now, you just need to space yourself outside of their unreactable attacks, which is around here, right? And then you can see what they want to do. That's a watch and wait scenario, right?
Yeah, that's a watch and wait scenario for that. But so if we're going back to, gosh, I've gone on a tangent, so maybe I'm not following correctly. But I've mentally been considering a lot of this to be, I don't have a missile out, they're full hopped.
Uh-huh.
And there's not a triplat.
Sure. So like
If
FD?
we're going back to like FD or PS2, right?
PS2.
Oh yeah, right. We're not PM. My Pokemon Stadium.
Sure. So like let's just talk about FD. Fox is full hopped, right?
Right. So if we don't have like so before we adjust that, right? Let's again address the situation we've described here, where you have this position right here, and we have full hopped, and we want to stay outside of Fox's unreactable drift forward moves, right? Or just barely outside of it. We have already established that Fox being on the ground and choosing to jump is one watch and wait scenario. And now Fox being in the air is now another watch and wait scenario.
Yes.
But Samus is currently on the ground, or Samus is currently jumping, but Samus being on the ground is not a position for this being in the air watch and wait scenario. Samus should be, in order to get to a watch and wait scenario, needs to be in the air.
No, she can watch and wait from the ground.
Well, I mean, it's not immediately reactable then, right?
What do you mean?
Remember when we discussed how up tilt is used to cover approaches
yeah.
from the air?
If I press a button, it's no longer a watch and wait scenario. But I can just be standing there.
Yeah, but it's not so mutually like if I'm standing there while Fox is full hopping.
Yeah.
I would not consider that position to be mutually unreactable, where I can risk something and catch Fox.
Why not? Can't you just full hop aerial him?
Well, I mean, that's also predicated on the idea that I have the spacing correct, right? The idea that we full hop in the first place, in this position with the triplat, is purely done so that we can challenge the triplat properly, right? And we can challenge the triplat with like a fair at an angle that fair will hit and we will be safe, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, right, when we are in the air waiting to see what they will do, that is a watch and wait scenario. If we sit here and we don't do anything, it is purely predicated on the Fox to approach us, right?
Right, and that's what happens for a lot of these scenarios.
Yeah, but like it is, but because it's not mutually unreactable.
Well, how is it not mutually unreactable? What can Fox react to?
Us like sitting there. I'm assuming that like Fox can choose at like most points within this to do a double jump. Right. If Fox uses the double jump at like any point in this, right?
Yeah.
It should be like it should be theoretically like safe, right? He should be able to do it like very easily, very quickly.
Sure.
Right? How many? Like it's quick. It's just like I don't see this as being a mutually unreactable situation.
Right. Well,
right?
Fox can retreat, right? Just like you can wave dash back from where you're standing, Fox can retreat to the top platform.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that this isn't mutually unreactable. There's a mutually unreactable space.
Yeah, like we're not in a position to like
it's not a situation where we are representing significantly high reward necessarily.
Sure.
But it is mutually unreactable. There is space there that neither of us can react to.
So, gosh, now you've fucking done it. So now I have to consider a watch and wait scenario to be something where it has to be unreactable and we can get percent off of it, I guess, would be the most like
okay,
really,
sure.
really basic way of saying it.
So like reward opportunities, right? Like
yeah, like reward opportunities are present. Sitting here and up tilting does not automatically like sitting here and up tilting does not always guarantee us a reward opportunity.
Right, I
and
agree
therefore
with that. I agree with that. Yeah.
Not a watch and wait scenario that we like always want to be in. The first place we want to be in to check and see what happens is in the air at a short hop range, maybe.
Sure.
Seeing what they do.
Sure.
Like
I'm not sure what your conclusion is here.
Like it just like the waiting on the ground right here does not seem favorable to me. Like, it sounds like something that I would do purely because I wasn't paying attention, and I would say, "Oh, now
Okay,
I'm in this situation,"
but the
and I would
third,
just accept it, right?
okay, so the fox just jumps and double jumps to the top platform, right?
Yeah.
So the third time that happens, or the second time that happens, what if you just meet him in the air with a fair?
Well, I mean, then we have to consider, like, before we even like talk about meeting with a fair, now we have to consider the positioning in which like we are with respect to each other, correct?
Yeah, and
Samus, like,
this is like how Armada. This is how Armada used to get those rising up airs on foxes too. You would dash dance, and like they would jump, they would full hop, and they would go to the top platform. And then the next time they were in a pressure situation, Armada would dash dance, and then Armada would full hop rising up air, and they would jump into his up air.
Hmm.
And like, this is like the same idea, right? Like, understanding what your opponent does out of a given situation, and then making a decision based on that to get yourself reward. Like, if they're at like 50%, right? Like,
yeah.
hitting with that fair in midair seems pretty juicy.
Yeah. But I mean, like, we still have to go through the watch and wait first before we even make that decision.
I agree with that. Yes. And it's like,
and
you want to put yourself in a specific
the watch and wait for that
spot.
position is literally just to like the watch and wait for Fox being in the air is to like follow Fox in the air.
You can. I think you can also stay on the ground.
The watch and wait for Fox going to top triplat is to follow Fox in the air.
Sure. Yeah, you would want to like full hop here.
Yeah.
Maybe in place.
Just fucked up. Oh, there's a lot more to break apart than there is for fucking Puff.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup's complicated.
I got work in the morning, so I can't like.
Yeah, I
so
understand.
It's talking.
We've already
like,
been
nice.
at this for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, talking about it is nice, right? It was nice to at least like identify, you know, what what spots we should be like trying to fucking pick.
The spacings, what we're looking for, how to beat them.
Or some of them, right?
Some of them, sure.
There's just fucking horrendous spots where it's like you have to follow them. If you're not following them, then you're not like presenting an unreactable situation.
Sure.
Where like you're lighting a fire under their ass.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, that's true.
But
you don't always have to get a very severe punish, as long as they can't create the situation, like repeatedly, right?
But just being like, I mean, the idea is that I don't know where like what I'm trying to get at is that I don't know where I need to wait. I know how to wait. You know how I know how to wait properly.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
The question is where and when, right? And
so what I ask myself sometimes is like, did I need to press a button? Or like, what was my goal in pressing the button?
Yeah.
A lot of times you just want to sort of evaluate your situations like based on like, was there a better result that was possible, and like, could I have gotten there with the information that I had?
I mean, the first thing is watching and waiting. Right?
Yeah.
I can't like watching and waiting is the first thing I need to do. Right.
Right. To gain information.
Wait, but I need to find the spot to do it in.
It's always really, dependent on your opponent, right? I mean,
everything else.
You're essentially asking like, what distance should I play footsies at?
Yeah, like I don't know where to add. Like, I can't like. There's ad libbing. Like I can ad lib, as good at like because I'm good at what I've already proven that I'm a good player, and so I can ad lib.
Sure.
But the question is, where do I? Yeah, again, where do I? I guess. Yeah, really, it's the question is where do I play footsies at?
Yeah,
right.
That's really all we're asking ourselves, right? Like that's different for different situations, different percentages. Like it's very contextual.
Well, I mean, we literally boiled down Puff into like 3 spots, Eric.
But like those spots are kind of vague.
They're vague, but they like cover a lot of like the initial part of the matchup.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We don't have to start guessing and like seriously heavily ad-libbing until we know what they're going to do.
Right, and for Fox, it's at the limits of his. At Fox, it's the limits of his jump arcs. Or it's a position underneath the top platform, right? Like, for most of the Fox situations, you want to position at the ends of the jump arcs or at the end of where reflected missile reactability is.
End of missile.
Or where his run-ups become reactable, right? That too.
Well, I mean, I guess at that point, right, it really is just identifying when does this run become a dash.
Right.
So it's outside the dash dance range. It's outside of where shine is reactable.
Yeah.
It's right next to where you can challenge a side platform an angle.
Right.
It's where you can stand and challenge a side platform an angle. All that sort of jazz. I don't know, it's just fucking pain.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about, but again, like, I don't have game plans for these. Eric, you know I don't have game plans for these matchups.
It's very evident from your gameplay.
And you know and I mean, like, it's gotten me this far.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, how the fuck do I go from here?
Right.
So really, it's just, trying to figure shit out.
I like thinking of Fox as upgrading my moves until I can kill him.
I mean, that's like every fucking non-floaty, right?
It's bigger in Fox than others, I think.
So I mean, we get value. I mean, yeah, we get value off of knockdown really heavily off of like Spaceys.
Yeah.
And maybe like sometimes Sheik and Falcon, but they're at like a lower percent threshold. I don't know. There's lots of fucking unpack. Because again, we've boiled down Puff and we boiled down Marth. I'm not sure if you think my Marth matchup is like better in terms of game plan. But like
game plan wise, the word game plan is like a really it's like tricky to apply to you because I don't think that you're as defined as you want it to be, right? But you like you do things that are very good, like micro wise. But I'm not always so sure that you have a grasp of like the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that, yeah. Like there's I don't know, fuck dude. Whatever. It's like one day, it's not a big fucking deal.
We'll talk about this some more.
We've fucking gone over for 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to stop.
Cut the fucking recording, dude. End the fucking recording.
Alright, I'll end the recording.
Just cut the fucking recording.
Yeah, fine.